Welcome to the December 2021 EST Literacy 2 reading exam. We're going to begin with passage number 1. The passage is about a young boy working in an inn, something like a hotel, and a mysterious guest arrives. And this mysterious guest refers to Bill. And Bill is the captain of a ship or something like that. The young man doesn't know the captain as Bill. He knows the captain as captain. So this mysterious guest is waiting on Bill, and they have some sort of past together. So let's begin with the questions. What is the tone of the passage? It is not tranquil or calming, thrilling and invigorating, maybe, right? Because the narrator now, he's saying, let's hide behind the door, right? Something like that. Let's hide behind the door and surprise the captain. It's a bit strange there. Ambiguous and strange. I wouldn't say it's unclear. It's pretty clear because the visitor talks about the captain and their adventures. Tense and unsettling. I like this answer. I went with answer D. I think this was an evidence-based question. Oh, no. Okay. So how do we know it's tense and unsettling? Because number one, the stranger's mysterious. Number two, he refers to the captain as Bill, which is another strange and mysterious situation. Number three, they hide in a corner. And number four, Bill, or the mysterious stranger, is referred to as a cat looking for a mouse. So I found this all tense and unsettling. Number two, what is the most, the word wanting, most nearly it means. You have to understand the context of the passage. We find out in the end that he's missing two fingers. Missing two fingers. It says right here, he was a pale tallowy creature wanting two fingers. Missing two fingers. Which word means missing? Lacking means missing in this context. Wanting means desiring, hoping, needing, and lacking. All of them. It just depends on context. Number three, which of the following can be assumed of Black Dog? Well, who is Black Dog? First of all, if you find out here, I think this is it. Come, Bill, you know me, you know an old shipmate, Bill, surely, said the stranger. The captain made a sort of gasp. Black Dog, said he. So Black Dog is the mysterious stranger. Again, we notice the tone is tense, is unsettling. The tone for us, something bad is going to happen. Black Dog is waiting for the captain, is hiding for the captain, is looking for the captain. So we can assume that Black Dog has bad intentions for the meeting. I'm sorry about the repeated answer. He enjoys playing tricks. No, that's not what we're doing here. He's hiding from him, wanting to catch an eye of him. A very easygoing character. He's unsettling. He's tense. Number four, which choice provides the best evidence to the answer choices? Right here, right? We said Black Dog has bad intentions. And here, he was like a cat waiting for a mouse. Bad intentions, right? Hunting. This indicates to us there's some sort of hunting, and that's why the answer is C. Number five, which of the following best describes the narrator? The narrator does not know the name of the captain. The narrator agrees to hide with Black Dog without knowing who Black Dog is. I wouldn't say courageous or brave. Naive means unknowledgeable, does not know the world, Compliant means he obeys. I would go with the answer B here. Otherworldly means like an alien. No. Timid, he's shy and benevolent, generous. No. You would say naive and compliant because he doesn't know who Black Dog is. He doesn't know the captain's name. He agrees to follow the instructions of Black Dog. Which of the following best describes the relationship between the first paragraph and the rest of the passage? This first paragraph introduces the rest of the story. I mean, this is the whole first paragraph. It introduces the rest of the story and what will happen later on, right? The bad things that would happen. I sent you guys the answer D, which was it sets up the characters and setting. And that's what happens in paragraph number 1. This is normally what happens in paragraph number 1. It sets up the story. It sets up the ideas. Number 7, which of the following literary devices does the author use? This one was a bit hard. An allegory is something like a short story in a story with a lesson. Irony is unexpected result. Hyperbole is an exaggeration. And we've taken this in my class. Foreshadowing means something to see in the future. So what is he using? An allegory? No, there's no story inside a story. There's nothing unexpected. There is no exaggeration. I went with foreshadowing here in question number 7. I think this was also an evidence-based question. Yeah, which choice provides answer to the previous question? Well, we said some sort of foreshadowing, right? And I went with answer A here from 1 until 5. It was not very long after this that there occurred the first of the mysterious events that rid us at last of the captain, though not, as you will see, of his affairs. Here, it's telling us that the captain will be killed or will get rid of the captain. This is foreshadowing. It's telling us what's going to happen in the future. Let's go to question number 9. What is the meaning of service? You must understand context. A stranger comes into the inn and asks for soda. So here, I asked him what was for his service. How may I help you? That's the question. So preference, assistance, work, or amenity. I went with here assistance. How can I be, preference, my apologies. I didn't go with assistance. Preference, why? Because he said he would take a soda. So what would you like? Or how would I help you? And the response is, I would like a soda. So he's asking, what is your preference? What would you enjoy? So context is really, really important here. Number 10, the captain's reaction to Black Dog is similar to the reaction of, man, I kind of didn't like this question. How was the reaction of Black Dog, right? So you have to think here. Come, Bill, you know me. You know an old shipment, Bill. Surely, said the stranger. The captain made a sort of gasp. Black Dog? A man seeing his favorite long-lost son. No, because we know there's something evil here. A cat randomly confronted by a dog in the street. I like this answer. Why? We're asking for the captain's reaction. The captain's reaction here is almost like shocked. The captain did not expect a black dog. So it's something like a surprise. So answer B, a woman seeing a rival coworker coincidentally after years. You see, B and C are very close, and we're going to talk about the differences between this. Answer D, no. A businessman coming face to face with the CEO. So what is the difference between B and C? A cat being confronted by a dog. This indicates to us that something bad will happen. A woman seeing a rival coworker coincidentally after years does not indicate to us something bad will happen. So I went with answer B here. And also, don't forget, we are told that there's some sort of negative situation that will occur in the beginning, where the author tells us that they got rid of the captain. They're rid of us at last of the captain. So I went with answer B here. That one was the hardest question, that and the vocab. Any questions? Passage number 2. I told you save this passage for last because it's so very dense. However, the questions were very easy. Here we're talking about the mountains and the properties of these mountains. That's all there is here in this passage. The mountains and the properties of the passage of the mountains. Answer A. Primary purpose of the passage is to. Is it about the environment? No, the environment is off topic. Provide a historical record of volcanic eruptions. Maybe it's not really doing that. That's too specific for me. Enumerate the number of mountains in the Andes chain. Do they enumerate? Do they list out the number of mountains? They do, but that's not only what the author does. So answer C is too specific as well. Detail the different volcanoes in the Andes and their specifications. Yes. So they're enumerating or detailing all the volcanoes in the Andes and their specific properties. The answer is D. Let's go to question number 11. Excuse me, 12. The overall structure of the passage is best described as the author is giving us the names of all the mountains, their sizes, their eruption dates, all of the specifications or details about them. So it's not a cause and effect. It's not an investigation. There's no experiment here. Is it argumentative? No. It's informative. Very, very informative. Number 13, the author used which of the following to support his text? How does the author support his ideas? There are no direct quotes. There's no quotations, nor any personal stories. It's either statistics or authoritative reference. Statistics means like 1 in 50 people, for example. I didn't see statistics, but he wasn't authoritative reference. He spoke as if he understood the mountains. Like when he says all this stuff here, all this very specific information here about the names of the mountains, their sizes, the replications, and then also here, right, he's authoritative reference. He says, according to Dr. Sterry Hunt, kaza, kaza, kaza. So there's no statistics here. However, he is referencing authorities, right? Dr. Henry. Is there anyone else here? I think that was it. And he himself is an authoritative reference. Number 14, which of the following provides evidence to the previous answer? Authoritative reference, okay. I think if I remember correctly, I chose answer D. Okay. Where was it? Here. There is no synchronism in the eruptions of Cotopaxi and Pichinchina. I don't know how to say that name. I'm sorry, guys. So here, the author is telling us a statement, and he's supporting that statement by Humboldt. Yes, Lara, that will happen. So he's telling us an authoritative reference. I also referenced Dr. Henry, right? So he's referring to these authorities. I overthink questions to the point where I erase the right answer. Usually the first answer you choose is the correct answer. Number 5, context is important. It's telling us that the mountain is capped. Is capped with a trachyte and porphyry. Guys, I just want you to know, I don't know what a trachyte is. I don't know what a porphyry is. This is very specific jargon, vocabulary for this very specific topic. I don't know what these are, but that did not affect how I understood this passage. So it was capped by. So the mountain is capped. So what is the meaning of capped here? Obviously, the meaning here would be topped. The top of the mountain is made of trachyte and porphyry. The author assumes which of the following to be true of the reader. The author uses very specific language for the topic. The author speaks about people like Dr. Henry and Dr. Hubbold as if we know them. He doesn't tell me where they're from, where they are. The author uses very specific types of rocks. So what does he assume about the reader? That I understand what's going on. The reader is familiar with the substance that emits from the volcano. This is too specific. The reader is familiar with the forms of altar, Chimborazo, and Cotopaxi. Again, too specific. These are half answers. They are correct. That's not enough. The reader is familiar with the names of volcanoes. This is answer B, right? And technical terms of the types of rocks. He talks about porphyry. It's everywhere. Opal, I can't remember what he was saying. So many things. Quartz, all this stuff is very specific knowledge. So he thinks we understand what he's talking about. So we'd go with answer C. Number 17. What is the relationship between altar, Chimborazo, and Cotopaxi to the rest of the volcanoes? They were the original. They were the original. I saved this question for last, but if I remember correctly, here you go. Cotopaxi, altar, Chimborazo are the representative forms of the volcanic summits. So they were initially awakened from the rest of the volcanoes, off topic, not mentioned. They work as prototypes, as the original to the rest of the volcanoes. They are representative of the volcanoes. They synchronously erupt. There's no synchronicity here. And one of them is dead, as I said. They are silent while the rest are constantly erupting, not mentioned. Number 18, which of the following is not true according to the passage? Less than half of the volcanoes are active. This is true. Only 3 out of 20. The Ecuadorian volcanoes mainly emit water and liquid lava. Not true. They emit water, but not liquid lava. Cotopaxi has not erupted recently. This is true. New World porphyries do not contain any quartz and real mica. This is also true. So number 18, if I remember correctly, I went with number B, right, or letter B. They mainly emit water and liquid lava. Because my evidence tells me the Ecuadorian volcanoes rarely ejected liquid lava. See that? But the answer to number 18 is the opposite. It does emit liquid lava, and that is not true. So I went with number 18B and number 19B as well. Answer A, C, and D are all true. So make sure you answer the question. Number 20, the graphic best supports which paragraph within the passage? This one's a bit weird, right? It just tells me Ecuadorian volcanoes. However, if I analyze the graph, the peaks, look how the author makes a line and the peaks are different. Look at that. That's really interesting to me. So I find that the author gives us the pictures of the volcanoes and all of them are different. And there's one paragraph that talks about these differences, and that would be paragraph A, right, or first paragraph, where they discuss the different forms of peaks or summits. You have ragged peaks, sharp peaks, they talk about the different types of peaks here. Don't just see the number 10,000 and tell me third paragraph. The third paragraph is about snow, not peaks. Number 21, feeble most nearly means line number 64. I mean, I made the word weak. That's what feeble means. The prevalence of the trachyte shows that the products have cooled under weak pressure. D. That one was pretty direct answer. Any questions in passage number 2? Let's go to passage number 3, double passage. Passage 1 talks about the symptoms of disease and how we need to recognize those symptoms. Passage 2 talks about a specific disease, which is diarrhea in cows. Let's go here. The importance of recognizing or diagnosing the seat and nature of the morbid change occurring in an organ or group of organs cannot be overestimated. And then he tells us normal people don't understand these things. So what is the purpose of lines 1 until 4? The author is being very clear. You need to understand the organs and what's going on. That's the most important thing. Is he disparaging? He's not disparaging. Disparage means to discourage. The author is attempting to convey a sense of urgency. The author is doing this. Understanding the organs cannot be overestimated. You need to be able to understand it. So he's being very emphatic here. The author is discrediting unprofessionals. You'd never have this in science passages. This is insulting. The author is recognizing that change in organs is common, off topic. Let's go to the next question. Question number 23. Passage 1 is most likely written from the point of view of, well, this one was the easy one, right? An amateur veterinarian? No, he sounds like a professional. He says you have to understand the physiology of an animal, the way they live, the way they eat, before you can understand symptoms. A layman means a common man, no. A farmer, no. We can tell this is written by a professional veterinarian, and you can also tell by the words this author uses. Number 24. Which of the following does the author of passage 1 indicate as being important for understanding diseases? The author is very clear. You need to understand the symptoms. Very clear as day, as clear as the sun. So a career as a vet, no. Make random examinations, no. This is the main idea. You must have knowledge of the animal, of what they eat, of the organs, of the physiology, of the way they sleep, before you can understand the symptoms. And then number 25, which provides the best evidence to this. And I went here with answer A, the importance of recognizing or diagnosing the seat and nature of the morbid change occurring in an organ or group of organs cannot be overestimated. So here it's telling us in the evidence that you need to be able to identify or diagnose the seat of change by understanding the organ or group of organs. I went with answer A. Number 26, what is the meaning of head? Line number 61. A direct symptom may also be considered under this head because of its direct relation to the seat of disease. I created the word under this type. And I looked for my word. It's not scholar, intellect, or leader. It is category. Head means all of these, but you need to understand the context. And here we're talking about symptoms of a disease. Which of the following is not mentioned in the passage? Passage number 2. Passage number 2 talks about the diarrhea in cows, how you can identify this diarrhea, and the treatment for diarrhea. So which of the following is not mentioned? Which of the following is not true of cows? Diarrhea most frequently affects young cows. This is true. The author says this in the beginning. Diarrhea in cows is exhibited in an unyielding manner. This is also true because he describes it as obstinate, strong. Carbonate of soda is given in all cases of diarrhea. This is not true. Carbonate soda is given in specific cases, not in all cases. So number 27, I said the answer was C. With number 28, here, look at this. In a more obstinate form, give 2 drachms of carbonate soda in the food. You give it to the animal when it's in the obstinate form, when it's in the harder form or more difficult form, not in all forms, not in the mild forms. Number 29, in passage 2, the author discusses diarrhea as a common disease for cattle. Which of the following best provides evidence for the author's credibility? So which one makes the author credible? Which one makes us believe the author? He's a well-known veterinarian. We don't know this. The author defines diarrhea and its symptoms because the author gives you the definition. Makes him credible? No. No, you're not credible because you have a definition. The author uses specific references to treatments in all cases of diarrhea. Yes, the author tells us how to treat all types of diarrhea with very specific details. Number 30, which of the following best describes a similar aspect of both passages? What do both passages discuss? Disease in cattle, disease in cows, right? So I went here with answer A. Answer B, passage 1 does not discuss cures, neither does passage 2. They discuss treatments. Answer C, both passages discuss symptoms as the essential element. Passage 2 does not do that. It just tells you these are the symptoms, this is the treatment. It doesn't say it's essential. Both passages are based on technical terms. Whenever you want to find an aspect of both passages, you compare ideas, not style. So here I went with answer A. They both discuss diarrhea in cattle. And again, how do we know this? I can't remember where I found the whole cattle reference here. I think it's because passage 1 discusses farm animals, and farm animals is one of them. Cattle is a farm animal. Number 31, which of the following best describes the difference between the 2 passages? Passage 1 is a very general focus on symptoms. Passage 2 is a specific way to handle symptoms. Passage 1 explores downfalls of wrong diagnosis, off topic. Passage 1 focuses on symptoms, check. Passage 2 specifically tackles disease and its treatment. Yes, diarrhea. Passage 1 argues different types of systems, no. And passage 1 focuses on grouping symptoms, no. Passage 1 talks generally about the importance of symptoms. Passage 2 talks specifically of how to deal with symptoms. What is the meaning of waste? Context is important, but if he mopes about, refuses his food, ceases to ruminate, wastes in flesh. That means get thinner. Flesh means the meat. So deteriorates, maybe misuses, yani abuse, no, fades, not really fading, Splurges means to spend, so no. So here we're going to say deteriorates, goes down in muscle mass. Any questions here? Let's go to passage number 4. Excuse me. This was a good passage. This was entertaining. So a British man or Englishman thinks he can come to Egypt, watch Egyptians dig up the pharaohs, and he thought he could take these treasures the pharaohs left behind, go home, and live a good life. Well, did that happen? No. The Englishman was treated like the workers, and he needed to work like them. According to the first 2 paragraphs, the professor can be described as ignorant of reality. That's the main idea here, because he thought he could go and live this lavish life in Egypt, but the reality of things obviously showed him otherwise. All of these, again, lacking in diligence, lacking in respect, no. Realistic and wary, careful, definitely not. Stubborn and obstinate, he could be, but there's nothing that directly tells us he's stubborn and obstinate. Number 34, which of the following provides the evidence? Which one tells us not real? That's what we're looking for. It's the one that tells us in his imagination. I think it was 25. No. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, in his imagination, right? This shows us he is not being realistic. He's using his imagination. Number 35, what is the meaning of score? They got a score of pharaohs, of mummies or something like that. Right here. So he found himself face to face with a score of pharaohs of Egypt, each lying in his coffin. So the score here means many. That's the context in the situation. Result, no, plenty, yes. Grudge means hate or anger, and grade means level, so no. Which of the following best summarizes from 92 until 108? So there's a shift here, and so the narrator tells us at this point that he himself went to Egypt, and that he himself went to Egypt, sorry about that, I'm a bit sick. And when he went, it wasn't as exciting as he thought it would be, right? So answer A, the author is preparing the reader for the disappointment of an excavation and the beginning of his experience as an excavator. Yes, because he tells us it's not important. And it tells me here, it may be presumed that it will be utterly annihilated by the following narration of my first fruitless excavation. Number 37, the rest will read along. The use of parentheses, as one would expect, conveys a tone of, this is where you have to understand using stylistic elements to convey a message. So the guy is saying, or the Englishman, let's talk about the Englishman. He thought it was only necessary to set a man of lower status to dig a little hole in the ground to open the way to the treasuries of the pharaohs, as one would expect. All of this is still discussing his imagination. And so the author is telling you, wink, wink, as one would expect. So the author here is being sarcastic. This fits with the idea that the narrator or the Englishman is unrealistic. Merriment is happiness and disdain is hate. Sorry about the double answers here. Number 38, the perspective from which the author writes influences the style of text so that resembles. I mean, guys, he's telling a story, right? And in the end here, he says I. He talks about his own story. So it cannot be a dissertation or a report. He says I. It's not a narrative or a fairy tale. It's a narrative, a personal experience. Number 39, set most nearly means we took this word in vocabulary on Wednesday. Did we not? Set and put, if you guys remember We took that in our vocabulary class on Wednesday. So anyway, the author was set to the task of excavating. So he was given the task to excavate. So here he was assigned the task of excavation. He was given that job. Number 40, the author claims which of the following? Okay, general question. Archaeologists in Egypt have found a lot of gold. Think of the main idea, think of the message of the passage. So I don't like answer A. The discovery of artifacts takes thousands of years? No. The reality of the discoveries is unlike the exaggerated tales. 100%. My answer here is C, because the author in the end says, I went to Egypt, I found nothing. It's nothing like you thought it would be. Number 41, the author is most likely, he's an excavator. I was set to the task of excavating. He's an excavator. Who excavates? An archaeologist, someone who digs in the dirt looking for humanity. Number 42, which of the following best answers the evidence? Same location, our hotspot of answers right here. He's an excavator, right? Excavating. Go with answer D from 100 until 104. Oh, that was it. Passage 4 is done. And finally, passage number 5. Making a fake diamond. How to make a fake diamond. And that's about it. It's informative, right? It's informing us about how to make a fake diamond and how to tell if it's a fake diamond. The main idea of the passage is discuss characteristics of diamond manufacturing and their imitations. The doublet, the triplet at the end of the passage. I like answer A, risk of selling diamonds, off topic. It's in the passage, but that's not the focus of the passage. Argue against buying diamonds since imitation are cheaper. Again, off topic. Introduce hardness of different stones to specific of an answer. We go with answer A. Number 44. What does the author state about the creation of a diamond? Well, what does he say? Well, he says they need many things to be created. And yeah, the copies aren't really good or something like that. They have found a successful way to create a diamond. Too general. We want an idea from the passage. One of the ideas. Artificial color enhances an imitation diamond's shine. I mean, again, I don't remember this, so question mark. Since diamonds take time to form, glass that resemble diamonds can be made quickly instead. This is very good, right? Because he says glass is a good imitation for the diamond. I think this was an evidence question. Yeah, okay. So lots of evidence. I like the big paragraph ones. You see how many lines this is? 13 lines. This is 11. I would focus on the big line numbers, right? EST has a good little pattern to give you like 15 line numbers as evidence. Usually that would be the correct answer. And here, where does it tell me glass is made because it's faster? Here. Because they take so long to make, we can make glass. I'm not going to read the whole paragraph. My throat is dying. So here we'll have answer C, 16 until 29. Number 46. Found most nearly means line number 69. We've taken this word as well in our vocabulary class. In chapter 7, we found that quartz is in the 7th degree of hardness. We gathered means to collect, maybe. Recovered, no. Located, no. Discovered. They discovered quartz is 7th degree of hardness. They did discover quartz is of 7th degree hardness. Number 47. According to the passage, a chemist cannot create a diamond ring because, if I remember correctly, according to the passage, the diamonds you make cannot come together. So therefore, you cannot make a big diamond. Here, right here. Nor can a number of them be fused, or in any other way converted into a large single stone. So if you make a diamond, they cannot be fused into a large single stone. The diamonds forged are too tiny. It cannot be joined in a large stone. Line 91, stand most nearly means. Here, such a stone will, of course, stand most tests. This one was one of the easiest vocab questions in JER. يستحمل most tests, right? Actually, they're getting the file and they're filing and it stands the test. Number 49, which of the following is the best and precise method to test a stone? Oh, come on now. Here, it's the triplet, if I can remember correctly. This one, I didn't even read too much because they give us test number 1, the file. But some things can stand that test. So test number 2, the doublet. But the underside can only be tested. So test number 3, they test the triplet. Kind of don't know what a doublet and triplet is, which is okay. But I do know it's used in a test. And the triplet is the best one to expose fake diamonds. Number 50, which provides the best evidence. I think it was the same location as evidence here, 93 until 97. Here, a stone of this nature is called a doublet, and it is evident that when it is tested on the underside, it will prove to be too soft. Therefore, the triplet has been introduced, right? So we go 93 until 97. According to the passage in the graph, which of the following would be affected by a file? If you remember, a file has level 7 hardness. Anything above level 7 cannot be affected by the file. Anything less than level 7 can be affected by the file. Only one thing is below level 7, and it is the opal. You see, I like my other laptop. So I have 2 laptops, this one and that one. And finally, what is the purpose of the final paragraph? In the final paragraph, you can identify the purpose from the first sentence. What does the first sentence discuss? It is discussing the introduction of a triplet. That was passage number 5 of December 2021. Okay, beautiful people. Any questions? Because it's about triplets. It's not about doublets. Ya Esr, the passage is discussing بقى يعني ايه a triplet. Not a doublet. That's the focus of it. Doublet جاي في dependent idea وtriplet جاية في independent idea. Any other questions here? We're done. Friday, take the day off. Relax, watch a movie, play a game, sleep early. Hopefully, you'll do better than what you did today, which would be very good news. حاضر يا يوسف. هياخد ساعة عشان upload. بس حاضر. Any other questions? I hope you enjoyed today's review. طمنوني يوم الجمعة how we do. You can learn anything. Mr. Sama out. Bye. Inshallah, Yusuf.